It's been 16 years since I made the decision to end your life. 16 years since I sacrificed your precious and innocent life for my own convenience. I only heard the sound of your heartbeat once, and I remember not liking the song that you sang to me. Your existence mocked me for my sins. You were the consequence of my behavior. In my mind, you were not allowed to exist until I said so. At your first ultrasound, I remember thinking, get it out. Just get this thing out of me. But when you died, something inside of me died too. If only I had known back then. Words fail me to express the level of remorse I feel for failing you. I'm truly so sorry and ask that you will forgive me for what I have done. I failed to protect you. I failed to be a mother to you. And despite how it looks, despite the fact that I paid someone to poison you and slowly rip your body apart and dispose of you, I really do love you. Ironic, I know, that in the same sentence I apologize for murdering you and then say that I love you. I'm sorry that I took your chance to live away from you. I often wonder what you would have looked like. What weird and wonderful personality quirks could you have had? You could have been anything you wanted to be in this life. You could have been an artist or a chef or a firefighter or a writer. You could have changed the world and gone to the moon and back. That is what you wanted to do. But I took that away from you. There is no excuse for what I did to you. There is simply no way to justify the crime that I committed against you. Sure enough, I was afraid, and only 14 years old. But that did not give me the right to murder you and all that you could have been. The turning point for me was the night that I almost committed suicide because I hated myself so much for what I had done. I was really going to go through with it. I was very calm about it. It was very well orchestrated. I had written suicide notes to everybody, and God knows I really was going to go through with it. And on that night, I tried something I had never really tried before, and I tried praying, and I reached out to God. And God actually responded to me. I believe God speaks to us in the language that we understand, and the language that I would understand at that time was just to have some peace. My whole life, I had just always had this uneasiness, just mess going on in my head, this noise inside of my head all the time. And for the first time, I really experienced a supernatural peace that I couldn't have actually experienced in that moment. It's impossible. It was a God moment, and it changed my life. It was in this dark moment that God intervened and stopped me and saved my life. I went from being an atheist to a Christian in a second. After my firstborn son was with us, I felt God put it on my heart to go and tell my story. And this was a crazy idea because it was such a dirty, dark secret that I didn't want anybody to know about. So the first time I actually told somebody about my abortion, I couldn't actually believe that the cat was out of the bag. And afterwards, I was just so amazed at how many girls as young as 14, 15, 16 were struggling with so many feelings of feeling worthless and that they had done something that they felt God could never actually forgive them for. And because I spoke out against abortion, 3 babies who were to be aborted now live. And then around the same time, I felt God basically direct me to get a guitar and start writing songs and to sing. And I told my husband, and I came home the one day and there was a guitar on the bed with a beautiful ribbon on, and he said he wants to support me in this. And yeah, from there I wrote a few songs, got into studio and sent them off to radio, and that was the beginning of it. Music is such a broad language that is spoken among so many. It really gives me the platform to be able to reach so many more people with my testimony of God's grace and to tell my story.